Hello and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another indie show preview. I'm of course Dan DP DeBreezy and we're going once again to the lovely world of Barrie, Canada for some Barrie Wrestling. This is a show preview. This is the second one of these. You'll see the last one for the Fallout tournament with Diamond Jim Lowe, and I'm of course joined by none other than his own broadcast partner at Barrie Wrestling. Someone's been on the channel before as well recently. Someone's been on the channel before for a review of a show. It's Mike Jeffries. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having us. And yes, Barrie, Canada, not Barrie, Wales. We've established that, but it worked out. It worked out because you found us, and now, we're building this fan base all the way across the ocean, and it's awesome. And I'm really looking forward to previewing Here Come the Wolves, which is titled because our owner likes that song, and that's it. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
But yeah, it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to doing this.
Was that likewise here? So as I said, Here Comes the Wolves by Wrestling, May 11th, which is, as of we're recording, that is 8 days from now, so that is next Saturday, of course, at the FLCC Arena. Of course, if you do want to get yourself in there, front row is sold out, so make sure that you do get in before it fully sells out, because I believe they do sell out quite frequently nowadays.
Yes, yeah. The last two shows have been sold out. $5 more at the door. So if you want to pick them up, you can reach out to Barrie Wrestling on any social media. We've got a couple stores in town that sell them as well, and get your tickets because it's gonna be a hot show.
Absolutely. But without any further ado, let's just kick into things and get into this show preview for said hot show. Let's kick off with something that's not assumably going to be a match, which is of course Shiloh's state of the royal family. So obviously, her being Queen Shiloh has to make a royal address regarding the royal family.
Yeah, I guess we're electing to give her a microphone this time, so I can't blame Tyler TCO, our ring announcer, as we often yell at him to not give her or Clay Wilson the mic. But so Shiloh, for those of you who haven't seen our last show, the Fallout Tournament, first off, go watch that. It's on IWTV. And Shiloh and Kyle were not there. It was Shiloh's birthday, and she was on a 72-hour bender. And so she entrusted Grizzly Mac and Anthony Musso to take care of business in the Fallout Tournament. Things did not quite go as I think the royal family had hoped it would go. And Shiloh's not in a good place when she's in a good place, And so angry Shiloh is terrible. She once brought a knife to a wrestling match.
Yeah.
She tried to shiv Puff with a candy cane. She is beside herself. So I am really curious as to what she has to say. And I'm sure the crowd will be respectful and quiet and let her speak.
Yeah, they always are. It's a very calm, civilized crowd. Do always follow the cues.
Yeah, nobody's going to chant Dairy Queen at her or Burger King at Kyle. No, they're very the crowd the crowd hates them more than anybody has hated anything. And I am very curious because Musso and Grizzly will talk about it, but they're in a tag match also. And on Twitter, I saw Musso say he's not going to tag in Grizzly. And Grizzly's obviously very upset with Musso. So we'll see. There might be dissension in the royal family. And yeah, I am for once actually looking forward to what Shiloh has to say. My curiosity has been piqued.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the best way of putting it, I think, as well, about curiosity being piqued, because it's just something that obviously it needed addressing of what happened at the Fallout tournament, but not necessarily in such a public display of what I'm assuming is beratement.
I don't think we allow public floggings in Barrie, which is probably lucky for Musso. But, the man didn't want to lie down and risk his job. I wouldn't put my faith in Clay Wilson and the royal family, even if I was part of the royal family. I don't think Clay Wilson puts his faith in Clay Wilson, to be honest with you. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Hopefully she's got like a good 15 to 20 second, and then they're going to cut the mic. But somehow I doubt it.
Yeah, it can't go any worse than the wedding, right?
The wedding was amazing for everybody else. For Shiloh, it was not good.
I meant for them, for the royal family, but
yeah. No, yeah, probably could not go worse. So yeah, no, that should be. You'll have to watch that item. If you haven't been following us, there's no real good words to describe the royal family
No,
and Shiloh.
because otherwise you're thinking of like the actual royal family, like the king and queen over in
Yeah,
United Kingdom.
our royal family is somehow more dysfunctional than your royal family.
Yeah, which is sort of saying something.
It's impressive. It's very impressive.
So you know what? Fair dues to the Shiloh and Kyle and the ship they run.
Oh,
But
goodness.
no, we mentioned the royal family, so we might as well continue with them and go into the first of the few matches that we have here, which is first for the Barrie Wrestling 400 North Tag Team titles. The royal family defend Grizzly Mac and Anthony Musso against KPK, the team of Ahmed and Abu.
Yes, so KPK wrestled on our pre-show for Barrie Wrestling 100, which was not uploaded to IWTV. It was just for the live crowd. And they impressed. Crowd really liked them. They were victorious. And we haven't really seen the royal family in a typical tag match since they won the titles, or even when they won the titles. That was a Christmas death match, which ended when Puff gave up because they were, or no, Ricky gave up because they were going to shiv Puff
Yeah.
with a shaved down candy cane, as you do. So, and I mean, Grizzly and Musso, there might be some, dissension, might be some malfunction at the junction in that matchup with that team. And KPK looking to make names for themselves. They wrestled on, I believe it was Ring of Honor about a month ago. They're a team on the rise out of Toronto, and they can take those tag titles. I mean, they booked their ticket for Barrie Wrestling, right? Like, they don't have a contract with us right now. If you're a champ, you've got a contract. And I don't know if it's been mentioned on your show yet, but why they're called the 400 North Tag Team titles.
That's something I was going to actually ask before, but then just sort of got into it and sort of forgot about it.
So there's the major highway that runs through Barrie is Highway 400.
Mm-hmm.
And 400 North is just, you take the 400 North to get to Barrie, and the green on the belt mimics the sign, like the green sign for the 400 North. So
Okay.
that's why. And the Three Pistols title is because it was originally supposed to only be defended in triple threat matches.
Yeah.
And then that just faded away. But yeah, so that's why they're the 400 North tag titles.
Oh, fair enough. And just to throw it out there as well, I quickly looked it up while you were talking. KPK were on Ring of Honor on a club, so it was one of their online shows where they took on the team of Action Andretti and Top Flight, which is Dante and Darius Martin.
Yes.
It was three of them, actually. It was Abu, Ahmed, and Haroon.
Right. Yeah. And I believe he has wrestled with them. I believe he's out of the same training out of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're out of Battle Arts, which is, Anthony Corelli, Santino Morella was his school. A lot of real good talents coming out of there. And I'm excited to see what they can do. They're a couple of young guys. And like I said, you get a chance to go for a title in a promotion that you don't work for. We saw, what was it, a year and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a year and a half ago, Reverso won the Barrie Wrestling Championship in his first match for us. Defeating Gabriel Fuerza, and he parlayed that into a number of paychecks from us. So we'll see. I don't think KPK has shown up with a sword though, so
yeah,
not quite the same.
Yeah, not really. Should we? It was well worth noting as well. Grizzly Mac's not unfamiliar with them. He's fought them quite recently. As in last week, he fought them in a company called NCCW. But just to throw out there, he's not unfamiliar with these guys.
So a little pre-scouting for them. I wonder if Grizzly, they see it. Musso's not answering Grizzly's calls, right? So you might not be able to get the scouting information. I think Musso's blocked all their numbers, and I mean, I would too if Shiloh called me 746 times.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we'll get more into what happened with Musso as we get towards the last thing that we cover here.
Yes.
But it's safe to say Musso is not in good standing right now with the royal family for reasons that we'll get into later.
We will talk about, yes.
Yes. I can tell you can't wait.
Oh, it's looking forward to
it. So we move on now to another one of Barrie Wrestling's controlling stables in another tag match, as we have top tier talent John Atlas and Julian Ward, which is a bit of a unique team there, taking on a team
Mm.
of Fresh Air, which I believe is the first time appearance for the team in Barrie Wrestling, between Junior Benito and the Hostler McCray Martin.
Who I have been fantasy booking them in the group chat with Barrie Wrestling Management for about a year. Two really, really great guys. I got to interview Junior Benito. He was one of my first getting to know interviews. McCray Martin has been on my list, but just the timing hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And they have been tearing it up, no pun intended. They have been all over the place. I don't know how the team was formed. I know they're, I believe, trained by Evil Uno, Stu Grayson from that school out in the Ottawa, Montreal area.
Yeah.
What a great tag team to learn from. And they've been working. They've got a match with Fight or Flight that I can't go to Hamilton to watch, but I will definitely watch it when it comes out. Not to promote other companies while I'm here, but like there's two of my favorite guys to watch. They've had really good single success in Barrie. And then for ATO, Kaz Jordan unfortunately injured. Also, unfortunately, his mouth still works, but he's in a walking boot. So Julian Ward, ATO joined up with top tier talent, and Julian Ward needed a tag partner. He had the Clydesdale in April, and they came up short, but I'll let you talk about that in your review show. And so now they're bringing in John Atlas. And when ATO joined top tier, John Atlas was out. That was Clay Wilson bringing them in. So is this a power play from Atlas? Is he scouting? We've seen, talk about dissension in the ranks, post show, we put up the videos on social, like Clay Wilson is 1 foot out the door with top tier talent. I mean, he might not be with the company, but we'll talk about that later. So I don't know. John Atlas, as we've talked about so often on commentary, the most successful athlete we have in Barrie Wrestling. And he is a game manager on top of being an athlete. He knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Triple H. And he's going to be scouting. He is aware of everything. So, like I said, it might be a power play. It might be him just checking out ATO. But either way, to put a powerhouse like John Atlas with just an angry outlaw like Julian Ward, it's going to be a long night for Fresh Air. And it's going to be like that one I have circled as potential match of the night. Just a really good mix of styles. So, yeah. And I mean, Julian Ward, he's not the nicest human being in the world, but he can go in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I mean, I can't disagree really with any of that. John Atlas and Julian Ward is definitely, I won't say a first time team. Obviously, they're part of the same group within Barrie Wrestling, but as you say, it was under a different regime at the time because Atlas was out injured at the time, so Clay was one pulling the strings at the time. Obviously, Atlas is back now. He's teamed with Julian Ward. For what reasons? We don't know. But it's something to consider. Is it just a case of they needed a body for the tag match? Is that what Julian Ward is? I was other things about Fresh Air, which are an amazing team, like a team who are established as well in the Canadian scene. Like they're regulars over in C4. You're bound to see them in Mystery Wrestling as well, like over with Evil Uno's company. Like you're bound to see him somewhere in the Canadian scene, if not the American scene. Like it's just they're an amazing team, and this will be a fantastic match. So if you're in the area, go. If you're not in the area, watch it on VOD, on IWTV. It's going to be an insane match. As Mike says, potentially could be match of the night. It has that.
I guess I keep fantasy booking them. They worked. Mystery Wrestling was Mansoor and I don't know what Mace is going by now. I'm gapping on it right now, and I am very excited for that match. And I'd say it's also interesting when that poster got posted. I messaged Sean. I'm like, "Is that Julian?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I've never, I know obviously he had hair at one point, but his entire, and so I looked up some old pictures of him, like on his Twitter. I'm like, the man looks completely different with no hair than he looked with hair. But, and my cat Rosemary is here saying hello.
Hey.
But yeah, that'll be good. And what I'll say too is we've seen Junior Benito. He's going to be the smallest man in that match by 50 pounds and 5 inches.
Yeah.
But we have seen him wrestle giants.
Yes.
He is tough as they come, quicker than a hiccup. It's going to be good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Um, and yeah, just again, go watch it. If you're in the area, go to the venue. If you're not in the area, watch it on IWT when it comes out. It's going to be in the same match that you do not want to miss.
Absolutely.
Um,
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
we move on to actually, to be fair, it's only fitting that we do it in this order. So yeah. So the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship #1 contenders match, which
Yes.
I mean, I know we just said that match of the night potential for the tag match, but this also has match of the night potential. So this is a 4-way between Gabriel Fuerza, Mark Wheeler, Myung Jae Lee, and Kyle Boone.
So insane amount of talent, and Gabriel Fuerza is so good. And I have to point out, so Mustafa Ali worked Fuerza in Toronto, and Ali has gone out on Twitter and said that Fuerza was the most talented person he worked with on his tour, which is incredibly high praise.
Yeah.
And Fuerza is the Mr. Everything at Barrie Wrestling. He has won all of our titles twice. He won King of Barrie. But it's a 4-way. And I think he's got a target on his back.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is probably the best multi-man match we've ever had, and maybe the best I've ever seen. We had a 5-way championship match almost 2 years ago, and Fuerza defended his title. It was Jesse V, Van Landen, Kyle Boone, Evan Greenway, and Fuerza won. 5-way match to defend his title. He knows how to strategize. He's got the most experience in that matchup, I'm pretty confident saying. And I mean, outsmarting Kyle Boone, not hard to do. But Myung Jae Lee has just been angry. I don't know. I don't know who's going to pull that off. And remember, 4-ways are no DQ.
Yeah, true.
Right? So Kyle's going to have Shiloh lurking somewhere, probably with a weapon.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know, who are you going to pick to take this one if you had to make a prediction right now?
I don't know, the way things are leaning. I feel like Mark Wheeler, personally. Yes, he might have a target on his back, but I think he's used to having that target on his back just because of who he is and his size. And I think he wants that match, Jesse V. I think he wants that opportunity again to go for that world title. And while the others will want that as well. I think for Mark, it's more than want. It's a desire. It's a need for it.
So it's a very interesting point because he and Jesse have tagged together before, and they have a long history. So they're locked and loaded. And Mark Wheeler cost Jesse V a shot at the title back when they were a group together. Jesse V came back and was ready to kill Mark Wheeler. Wheeler, then fast forward a few months, Wheeler saves Jesse V. And they're friends. They got to tag together once. Wheeler gets hurt. He was out for months with an ankle injury. The man, he posted on Facebook that he was having, or Twitter somewhere, that he was having trouble working out. And so the man is a Greek god. I don't know what he said. When I was injured, I had trouble working out. Like, the man's got negative body fat. He's got muscles in places that I don't think muscles should exist. And the only time he looks small is standing next to Jesse V, who I believe I said looks like Mark Wheeler ate Mark Wheeler. So to steal a John Cena line from a movie. So, but Wheeler has looked terrific since he came back. He hasn't lost a step. And I do wonder, I hadn't really thought about the Jesse V of it, because he might feel like he's been surpassed a little bit by his former tag partner and the guy that he brought into Barrie Wrestling. Jesse V was the Diesel to Wheeler's Shawn Michaels, or the Wardlow to Wheeler's MJF, and we had that first, even though it was very similar looks. And he wants, whether or not he'd say it out loud, I think he wants a shot to go one-on-one with a good friend, but also, you hit your friends a little bit harder than you hit your enemies sometimes.
Absolutely. Yes.
So And then Myung Jae Lee has been a different person since he lost the Three Pistols title. Kyle Boone's insane, just criminally insane. We will probably have to put him through a metal detector before the match just to make sure.
Yeah.
And then where is that? I can't bet against any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Wheeler taking it though. Just that extra little bit of motivation coming off injury. And I think of the four of them, he has the longest drought without holding gold. So we'll see. But yeah, no, that's going to be, if that's not a banger, I'll be so.
It's
going to be a banger. There is no other option.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say I will throw out as well the what's the word? The interesting caveat as well of someone who's not booked on this show. That could throw a spanner in the works. Van Landen.
This is true. Yes.
Myung Jae Lee is currently embroiled in maybe one-sided for Van. Maybe Myung Jae's not so fueled by it right now because he's got a world title chance here. But
no, that's a good point.
I think something like Van could potentially cost him the chance for this, or get involved somehow and take Myung Jae out of the match.
Absolutely, it's no DQ.
Yeah.
And Van Landen, he's out for revenge for sure. And even I mentioned Shiloh, so I have confirmation from Barrie Wrestling Management. Alexia Nicole will be there. I don't know in what capacity, what match he's going to have, but Alexia Nicole, along with Fuerza, they've had their issues with the royal family. They kind of ruined their wedding. And Alexia, no love lost with her and Shiloh. So if Shiloh sticks her nose where it doesn't belong, Alexia might knock it right out of joint. So they've all got, there's so many X factors in this matchup and so many things that could happen. And at the end of the day, one of them's going to get a shot at, I mean, not to build a segue for you, but it might not be Jesse V that they're taking on if they win this match.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that very good segue, let's segue into what is definitely covering here, which is of course for the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, because it might not be Jesse V that they go on to face. It could be Jesse V's challenger on this show, Rajan Husher.
Rajan Husher, who might be the most exciting I can't even call him a prospect. I don't know how it works for British sports, but I know you guys have like your youth academies for your Premier League and stuff like that, but if they call up an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old to the senior club, he's a prospect, but not really, right? Like they're both a prospect and an active star.
I think prospect is definitely the right word for it. In our sports anyway, it's like they're a prospect because they're untested or unproven, but they're still up in the main league, but in the main team.
And so that's where I'm a little bit gun shy about calling Husher a prospect, because he has been tested. He's had some good matches, but he's only 21. He is 21 years old. First off, how is somebody that twisted at 21? I mean, maybe it's just a phase, and like in 5 years, he's just gonna be painting like flowers and like sitting in meadows. But I don't see that. He exactly. Only cutting somebody else's ear off. He's up there with Reverso for like just the most disturbed, no, and Holden Albright. There's the trio of disturbed, unhinged people that we've had in Barrie Wrestling.
Yeah.
And but Husher, like I said, he's proven himself, but he has a lot to prove still. And the other thing, I don't know if this announcement came through on IWTV, but Von Vertigo has been doing everything in his power to not defend the Three Pistols title. And there was an announcement that if he is not there on May 11th, they haven't said what, but something will happen with it. And I've seen him posting on social media. I'm pretty sure he's going to be closer to you than to us on May 11th. I think he's in Cardiff that day.
I think he is, yeah.
So unless he's on a super quick flight, even with the time difference, Vertigo's not going to be there to help out Husher.
Yeah.
And Vertigo might not be happy with whatever announcement happens. I'm sure he'll be following along somehow. So he might be telling Husher, hey, man, it is do or die for Vision. And I believe that's why Rajan Husher was placed in the Fallout tournament, is what can you do when you don't have Von Vertigo watching your back? What can you do when it's somewhat of a fair fight? And against Jesse V, but we have seen repeatedly the human video game glitch that is Jesse V.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know if it would matter if Husher had vertigo. Like Vaughn, not the illness. And I don't know if Rajan Husher, like, I don't know what he can do to slow down Jesse V. I don't know what a bus could do to slow down Jesse V.
Yeah.
But he is going to be motivated.
I don't know. I've got a feeling that whatever paint that he brings out to face Jesse V with will be his last one that he makes. There's something about when you face Jesse V that you've got to go in expecting that you might not walk out.
I don't understand how he does what he does. He is somebody that if I stand behind him, you just don't see me anymore. I completely disappear. I think I've called him a fridge with a head. You run out of superlatives to describe really like the Canadian Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And if you have not seen him wrestle and you think I'm being hyperbolic or exaggerating, the man did a coast to coast, corner to corner.
Yeah.
He does a senton. He did a top rope Huracan Rana. He is 6'3" and 265.
Yeah.
He should not be. He's just not real.
And just to as well to add a bit more onto that as well, the top rope Hurricane Runner that he did was to a standing John Atlas.
Yes,
that's
not real.
He was standing between the second and top rope. Like this is a 6'3" guy, John Atlas.
Atlas, yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's that tall, standing on the top rope, and then Jesse V got up there, Hurricane Runner, while he's standing.
If you go on social media, Jesse V, I believe, posted a compilation of the special move he and Mark Wheeler do, where Wheeler has the opponent sitting on his shoulders in electric chair drop position or doomsday device, and Jesse jumps and drop kicks the guy in the head while he's sitting on Wheeler's shoulders. Wheeler is 5'10", so that's what, 8 feet? Again, he's nuts. But everybody is prone to underestimating an opponent.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And we saw Alexia Nicole give Trent Seven everything he could handle in our 2023 match of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against Alexia Nicole. She's incredibly talented, but I don't think anybody had that picked as being that close of a matchup. And Jesse V is not... He is a lot of things. He might be unstoppable. I don't know what I was going to say. He's not perfect, though. Everybody has a weakness. You know, the Achilles heel.
Yeah.
And Husher, Jesse's never faced anybody like Rajan Husher because there's only one Rajan Husher.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he finds some sort of something to gain the advantage, and all it takes is 3 seconds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anything can happen in Barrie Wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen in Barrie Wrestling, and I personally want to say that I don't think Rajan Husher beating Jesse V is on that list of things that can happen.
I don't want to... You know what? But you don't have to see Rajan Husher. You don't have to be that close to him. I'm not going to sit here and talk smack about him, the most jacked artist I've ever seen in my life, who is terrifying. I'll be sitting on commentary and get a painting busted over the back of my head.
I'm safe in that aspect.
Hey, Vertigo is going to be in your neck of the woods. You might talk smack about Rajan Husher. Vertigo is going to show up, kick you in the face.
Vertigo is safe in my books. Like we've talked, we've had a whole podcast about his career. Like
maybe he's just a nicer guy over in the UK because he's a real jerk in Barrie.
Valid. Maybe I've been the best at people. Who knows?
You're gonna come over here. We all think you're a jerk.
Probably.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be. I know we've talked about a lot of reasons to watch Barrie Wrestling. If you haven't seen Jesse V, just watch us for Jesse V. Just go on our YouTube channel, Jesse V versus Josh Alexander, one of the match of the year candidates for last year. Jesse's only pinfall loss in Barrie, but what the man can do, and he wrestled in AEW, and he stood across from Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee. They're both big guys, and Jesse V is not that much smaller than either of them. So we'll see. We'll see where Jesse V goes from here. But yeah, he's a joy to watch.
Absolutely, yeah, and also as well to give Rajan some credit. His match in the World Tournament, he did pick apart his opponent. He did win.
And he put Boris Krobos on the shelf. I guess I think I can say this, but Boris Krobos did suffer an injury in that matchup. We thought it was just a little bit, maybe bruised, but he's going to be out for a little while. And, we wish him well. I am the president of the Boris Krobos fan club. He is not my son, Jim Lowe. I am just a fan. And we don't have enough overweight bald wrestlers for me to say that they're Jim's son, but... so yeah, Rajan Husher, and I think I even talked about that on commentary, that to Husher, he didn't just want Boris Krobos to get fired, to win the match. He wanted to be the reason somebody got fired. He tried to end Van Linden's career. He has not. It's not like he's had a lot of losses in Barrie.
No.
So we don't know. Well, there's a reason he's getting this match, and it's not just that he painted Barrie Wrestling management and they liked it.
It's the picture in the office of Barrie Wrestling management, just
posing like Kate Winslet from Titanic.
So we go off of that image to
I'm gonna get fired.
what we're classing as the main event, but it might not be the main event. We don't know. It's just the one that has the highest implications, in my opinion. Which is, of course, the Fallout Tournament Finals between Pretty Ricky Wilde and Clay Wilson.
Yes. This should be the most partisan crowd. If you think that, British football crowds get a little bit violent, I shudder to think what happens if Clay Wilson wins this match and Pretty Ricky's the one that's fired. Pretty Ricky, beloved by the Barrie Wrestling faithful. Clay Wilson, who is just the human equivalent of tennis elbow. He is a stone in your shoe, a pizza burn on the roof of your mouth, just the absolute worst. And they're going to wrestle, and the loser of that match is fired. And I won't step on, I know you're going to be doing your review show, so I won't step on the toes too much, but Pretty Ricky, who is part of the royal family, as a stipulation for the tag title match that they lost back in December when the royal family won the titles. You would think that they would want to keep around somebody that has to do their bidding.
Yeah.
But they just want to make Ricky miserable. That is the end result. And so Grizzly Mac cost Ricky his first match. Shot the ref to cost Ricky a second match.
With
so
a toy gun, with a cap gun. It was. Yeah,
it still hurts. Still hurts. With the cap gun, and so Pretty Ricky, who knows? The bell might ring, and Grizzly Mac might just attack Clay Wilson. DQ. Yeah. Match is over. So Ricky, it's very rare you have to fight your own managers or your own team. But I don't know what Ricky can do to win this, but I can't imagine Barrie Wrestling without Pretty Ricky. And I very much can imagine Barrie Wrestling without Clay Wilson. It comes to me in my dreams all the time. I just storyboard it constantly at work. It's everybody holding hands and singing because Clay Wilson has been fired. And I've never been happier for a surprise roll-up than when Musso turned down the deal. And so we'll quickly touch on that. It was Clay Wilson against supposed to be Grizzly Mac. Grizzly Mac blaming Musso for him Grizzly losing in the first round, brought Musso in, and Clay Wilson had paid off the royal family for Musso to take a dive. Musso had plans of his own.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Musso's job is safe. His life might not be, but his job is safe.
The thing is as well with that match in particular as well. If Clay had just kept his mouth shut and just said, this is what happened. This is what we agreed. Lay down. Musso might have just laid down and taken it, but Clay had to, berate him incessantly to the point where Musso was like, you know what? No.
And it's not the first time we have seen that backfire on Clay Wilson. In the matchup that Nova won, the same thing. Clay Wilson surprisingly doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. That might shock anybody who hasn't watched a Clay Wilson match, but and the guy is talented in the ring. He is. It pains me to say it. Like, I actually got a little bit of heartburn from saying that, but he is very talented in the ring. And never mind saying anything. If he had just wrestled Anthony Musso, just wrestled him. Told Grizzly, you know what? I'll pay you off to stay in the back. Let me just wrestle one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
He might have beat Anthony Musso. Nothing against Musso, but that was his first win in Barrie Wrestling. And I mean, the guy, like, he might be a better singer than he is a wrestler. He's not that good of a singer. But I mean, Clay Wilson, the problem I have with him too is he's got a backup plan and a backup plan of a backup plan. And Ricky's running out of backup and running out of friends. And meanwhile, he's got to worry about Clay, Grizzly Mac, Shiloh, Kyle, John Atlas, ATO.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a third Australian last month. Maybe they're flying in a fourth one to help back him up for this. So I don't know. Kaz Jordan's got some friends back home.
It is a whole country. I mean,
I don't know if the whole country supports. I don't think Australia supports Kaz. They're not like Rhea Ripley over there. I don't know if they own Kaz Jordan in the same way. Although I got to be careful because he's stuck up to me a few times. That guy's gonna smack me upside the head one of these days. But yeah, I have never been more emotionally invested in a match. I don't think. At least not one that I knew was coming. Jody Threat winning our championship and then getting cashed in on by Kyle Boone might have been the closest I've come to just throwing my headset at the ring.
Yeah.
But this here, so I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, which to you, I think we've discussed the equivalent for British soccer. But if there's a team that has a ton of media coverage, the English men's soccer team, English men's football team.
Thank you. Yeah, I was confused.
That is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes. So I am a diehard Leafs fan, and at the time of this recording, we are going to Game 7 in the first round against Boston tomorrow night, which means I will either be very happy or very sad. And then a week later, a week almost to the hour, the same thing is going to happen. Yeah. And just like tomorrow night's game, I have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that I am ready to be hurt again. And I do not have good feelings. And I hope Pretty Ricky wins. I will be pulling for him. You don't need to be unbiased on commentary. I can be as biased as I want to be, and I will be. But if you told me that I had to bet money on it, I don't think I'd bet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've done my job pretty much for me. It's everything that you just said is more or less along the lines I was going to say, except the clear anti-bias you have for Clay Wilson. But so much so, I've been accused by Jim Lowe of being on Clay Wilson's payroll. Like, it's just because I don't.
If you act like he's a human being, if you treat Clay Wilson as no, you know what? I don't. I don't want to get hit by him either. I got to be careful what I say here because, I don't want to get punched in the back of the head again.
I am going to be clipping these, probably. So
just sending them. Yeah.
Just going to DM each one of them. Like, this is what Mike said about you.
Yeah. I will say, on that match, last thing I'll say, though, is the sad thing is, I think in a vacuum, Clay Wilson against Ricky, no interference, no nothing. One-on-one, let him go. Mm-hmm. Could be a really, really great match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, maybe during the tag match, Grizzly and Musso get their shoes tied together or something, and then Shiloh gets locked in a room, and then Kyle gets lost in a void, and ATO goes out with John Atlas for like good Australian barbecue, and it's just Clay and Ricky.
I've got a question.
I don't think that'll happen, but it'd be nice.
I've got a question. You gave all valid reasons for why someone couldn't be there, and then Carl Boone is just in the void.
So I kind of got into a Simpsons reference there with the episode with the softball team, where one of the players just falls into an endless hole. But no, I just What's the WCW when Chris Jericho's coming to the ring and he keeps opening the wrong doors when they're doing like the fake Goldberg entrance for him? I'm just picturing Kyle. There's a lot of rooms in the back of the FLCC, and if he just you spin him around a couple times and push him in a direction, he might end up in one of the classrooms in the back of the building. Oh yeah, he might get lost or walking out into the parking lot, end up down the street at the the subway or corner store, and just be looking around in his gear. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. He's not. No, he tried to light our championship belt on fire, and then Shiloh hit it with an elbow drop. So I mean, they're a few jokers short of a full deck.
Yeah, that's absolutely bad. But yeah, exactly as you say, this is two opposite ends of the spectrum within Barrie Wrestling in regards to one person that everybody loves and one person that everybody hates. As you say as well, like these two, no interference, pure singles. This could be a great match because they're both very good wrestlers. It's just one chooses to use his mouth a lot instead of
a lot.
Yeah.
So does Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky likes to talk. He's just funny.
Yeah, it's just more. What's the word? Enthusiastic or more positive. Like he's
less of that thing. Less of the thing Jim Lowe called Clay on our last broadcast that I won't repeat.
You can say it here.
The one thing I'll say...
We're not PG. At this point, we're not PG.
The one thing I'll say, and this is not... I haven't seen anything in the locker room. I don't know anything. But we saw at WrestleMania, the pure good up against the group of evil. And we saw some guys come out of the woodwork to help the good. And you can't throw a bag of rice in the FLCC without hitting a dozen people that have a bone to pick with either top tier talent or the royal family. So maybe they don't need some unfortunate circumstances. Maybe hopefully we'll just see some people show up and stop them from doing anything and give. Ricky would not want to be handed a win. Ricky doesn't want somebody to come out and get play DQ'd. Mm-hmm. Ricky wants to fight.
Yeah.
But the man has earned a fair shot.
Yeah. And another thing to consider as well is before you get to the end of this, let's just say sort of randomly, Clay is the holder of the Kevin Best Cup.
Right.
So does that affect?
If he forfeits it, if he loses it, so here is thank you for. I was going to say something, and thank you for bringing that up. So we've got Jesse V wrestling Rajan Husher. Rajan Husher is not scared of underhanded tactics. No. And we know Von Vertigo's got a lot of connections too. Even though he's across the ocean, he's got a lot of connections. Let's say even if Jesse V wins, let's say Rajan Husher does some damage to Jesse's knee or ankle or anything, takes him out, even after the match. Clay Wilson cashes in, wins the title. What happens then? Does Barrie Wrestling management have to step in? Does he forfeit the title if he's fired? Does Ricky become the champ if he wins that match? There's a lot there. I do know if Clay does not cash in and he loses, Kempenfest Cup is gone.
Oh.
He no longer has a title shot. He is no longer allowed to wrestle in Barrie. It's gone.
That is brand new information to me. I had no idea about that.
Yes, I don't know if it has been said to the live audience. I think it might get brought up on May 11th, but I, as the commentator, I've got to ask management, hey, what happens if there's a double DQ? Mm-hmm. That's when I found out we're going to restart the match. Okay. What happens if Clay Wilson is the one fired? And Sean said he loses the Kempenfest Cup. He's no longer with Barrie Wrestling. The contract is null and void. So that
brings a whole new level of the equation to this match.
And one other thing just hit me. We know Clay Wilson's willing to make a deal. I wonder what people would do in exchange for him giving up that title shot to them.
Yeah, true. Very true.
In exchange for protection. So many things that can happen. Here come the Wolves. It's going to be great. If you can't, you've hyped this up, I'll hype this up. If you cannot be there live, so we're going to be at the FLCC Arena. It's Ferris Lane Community Church. When we're not there, it's Community Church. When we're there, it's the FLCC Arena. North End of Barrie, Ontario, Canada, not Wales. If you can be there live, be there live. It's incredible. If you can't be there live, IWTV, usually a couple days after. So, Wednesday, Thursday, around like the 16th, it'll be up there. Check it out. Like $10 a month for IWTV, $10 Canadian. I don't know what the dollar is at. It's probably like £4 or euros, or you guys don't use euros, you use pounds.
If the dollar was at £4, it'd be an absolute travesty.
I don't know. Our economy's up and down. So check us out. And for you, I think I showed you out in the last show. Like, thank you for your support. It is so appreciated. It's so cool that we have this like fan base that's building. When we started on IWTV, it was December 2021. It was our first show back from COVID. And, true story, it was the talent going to management and being like, you have incredible matches. You need to get production.
Yeah.
And Alan Taylor and his team, I think it's called Heartworks. Alan, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. He hates the praise anyways. They have brought such a different level and ability. Like, just, it's incredible what they do. And now people can see, and like we have people watching us from the Northeast US. Like we've got a lot of guys out of Buffalo. We've got Bobby Orlando comes to us from Philadelphia. They're Long Island. Anyways, in that area, we have a lot of fans that watch us from there, all over Ontario, Canada, and now in the UK, and hopefully spreading further. We had MBM and Ultima Sombra from Belgium, so we might have picked up some fans there. It's so cool to know that people everywhere are able to watch us. Mm-hmm. And I still get a little bit, when the guys post the clips on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and I hear my voice, it's still a little bit weird hearing that. And one last little thing, we will have a new intro on May 11th. I hate doing video editing, but I messaged Sean and said I want to put something together for us. So assuming all goes well this weekend, we will have a new intro video for May 11th. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, likewise. I'm sure you're going to keep the, we are back. But we'll see.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a little bit modified. Also, I know we're going over time, but quick fun Jim Lowe story. I'm like, hey Jim, can you record just like this little phrase? I want to use it for the intro video. Just record it a couple different ways because I don't know how I want to go.
Yeah.
So I get 10 audio files. It's just him saying these same 3 words 10 different ways. And I'm like, that's so Jim Lowe. The man is a professional most of the time. Sometimes he talks about my wedding night, and that's a little bit unprofessional. But sometimes I call him overweight and bald. So,
it works out
he is exactly. So yeah. But no, I want to thank you for your support. It's so cool. And I mean, we all appreciate it. So. And I know the guys do watch it because I've had after I did the review, I had one guy message me like, "Oh, the move is called this." I'm like, you already watched it? It's been out for like 6 hours. He's like, "Yeah, of course." So, yeah. So thank you.
That's absolutely amazing to hear, and we love, of course, the interaction that you guys have, and that you guys are so willing to do it with us as well. Because I'm not going to name names, but there are companies out there that don't respond to this sort of stuff. They're like, it's a podcast, it's a wrestling podcast, like. So it's just like it's amazing that you guys were willing to take a chance on us, and now we've been going for how long? Like it's been half a year, maybe a bit more than that.
Yeah, 6 or 7 months now. I don't know. When did you realize that Barrie was in Ontario? Just go from that date.
The worst part about inviting you on is that you're the one who remembers this stuff. And with that in mind, you should probably call it a day because I believe you need to go soon.
Yes, I just checked the time. I've got about 30 seconds.
Fair enough. So thank you once again for tuning in. This has been a show preview for Barrie Wrestling on the Wolves May 11th FLCC Arena. Get your tickets now while you still can. This should be out a few days before the show, so you should still have time to get tickets. Failing that as well, check out Barrie Wrestling on social media. The FB's in the YouTube description below. I've got Mike's Twitter on the screen here. Just believe his name there. If you're so inclined, mine is Deity, just here as well on Twitter. Above me here are our shows for the media of our show. So our Instagram, Facebook, our X, and our Twitch. And yeah, on YouTube as well. Please like the video, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, etc. All that stuff. It's all free and helps us with interaction to find out what you guys like, what you dislike. Do you want to see more of Mike? Do you want to see more of me? Less of me? Less of Mike? Do you want to see more Jim? Do you want to see someone else from Barrie Wrestling? Like, You know, it's just these little interactions that we can gauge an audience. But yeah, other than that, I think I promote what I wanted to promote. So with that in mind, I will bid you adieu. Thank you once again, Mike, for coming on, and be good people. Peace.
Thank you so much. Take care.
It goes in the glitch of the door.